Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another episode of Pax's Little Library of Horrors. Just a little bit of background on this. I was only supposed to bring this whole series created by my dear friend who is sadly departed from this mortal coil called Pax Panic. I was only supposed to bring it back during October, kind of like a Halloween special. And I was kind of debating whether I should continue with it. But there were two factors that I wanted to take into consideration. I was looking at the view count on the videos that I did during October, and for each one, the view count was going gradually down. And I was saying to myself, well, look, if the supposedly last video that I made in October for this whole series, if that surpasses the previous video in view count, then I will carry on with this series. So that was one contributing factor for me continuing doing this series. And also I want to make a massive shout out to DR Animations, who inspired me to continue doing this series, because he mentioned Edward Gorey, and Edward Gorey was kind of a big thing for Pax. She had a interest in his stuff, and I got a bunch of his work from eBay. It's really hard, but if you look, you can find stuff that doesn't come across the other side of the world and cost as much of the book as the book itself. So I just want to dedicate this video to DR Animations, as he's the one that kind of inspired me to do this whole series again, or carry on with it. So I will have his channel linked down below, so please don't be afraid to go there and check his stuff out. He's a really great animator and I love his stuff. So the book that I'm going to be talking about today is called The Epiplectic Bicycle by Edward Gorey. I know I probably said it slightly wrong, but that's probably the best I'm ever going to get it, guys. So that's the cover, with a crocodile upside down on a bicycle with all these shoes around. And on this side she has the title of the book on each letter of all these boots. And there on the ball, and it has by, and then it has Edward Gorey on each, a letter on each boot, which that's really cool. And that's the back with all these boots and a kind of a bird or a crow. So let's just go through this, guys. It was a day after Tuesday and the day before Wednesday. Emily and Hubert were hitting one another with croquet mallets. And there they are, and it says Oath and Ninny. So I was thinking about this. I mean, they aren't hollow, they are solid wood. So hitting each other on the head, supposedly, a repeated process, is gonna hurt, especially if it's on the head. When they heard a noise behind the wall, so it says tra-la-la-la. So they're wondering, oh, what's this? And an untenanted bicycle rolled into view. So there you are. There they see this. Mysterious, strange bicycle there. Brother and sister tried to take sole possession of it. So I find out that these characters are siblings. So they are fighting over the bicycle. And the sister, oh no, I'm not sure if it's the sister or the bicycle, but maybe the bicycle is saying mercy. But they must really like this bicycle. Until they both fell exhausted. They've had enough. They've had enough of fighting over this bicycle, and they've fallen over, probably unconscious from hitting each other repeatedly on the head with croquet mallets. Hubert recovered first and leapt onto the seat. So he's saying, ha! I've recovered first. This bike is now mine. And his sister is like saying, no, come back. So Emberly had to sit on the handlebars as they flew out the gate. Sorry, my voice went there. So there they are. And what I figured out is that on the bike there's no pedals. So there's no way of them moving unless the bike is sentient and can move by itself. But yeah, he's standing on the seat and his sister's on the handlebars. After they almost ran into a tree, she says, oh, clumsy, nearly killed me by ramming me here into this tree, on which was perched a large bird, which is the same bird as on the cover. So, yeah, not much else to say about that. Who muttered as they went by, beware of this and that. Yeah. Not sure what the bird means by beware this and that. They rode past a great many turnip fields. So they're basically riding in the middle of nowhere, looking at nothing. But as it was the wrong time of year, they didn't see any turnips. So that's why there's no turnips growing there, because they're all seeds or they've been harvested. A horrid storm came up. Yeah, going for a storm. And I do love this artwork as well. It's really great, this artwork. They were nearly struck by lightning. Little bolt of lightning, and it has a little simmering thing when it hits the ground, and it's nearly knocked them off their bike several times. When it was over, Emberly found she had lost her 14 pairs of yellow shoes. And, I mean, I don't know why she has 14 pairs of shoes. I mean, I know women and girls have got loads of shoes, when us guys, we can survive with just one or two. But she's just looking for them while her brother just sits on the bike. And Hubert, his spotted fur waistcoat. Unusual. I mean, one of them's got 14 pairs of shoes and one of them's got a spotted fur waistcoat. As they were riding through a lengthy puddle, it's very charming, this one, it really is. An alligator rose up in front of them. So they're standing on the bike, terrified of this, well, I was going to say friendly, was it, alligator, and they don't want to get eaten. Emberly kicked it on the ends of its nose and it expired. So when it says expired, I interpret that as it dying. So there we go. Probably not a good idea to kick a crocodile or a alligator in the nose. If you come across it, probably the best thing to do is just to run away. And I mean, I would imagine if you kicked a alligator on the nose, it would probably get more annoyed, and definitely wouldn't be enough to kill it unless that you were the Incredible Hulk. They took a wrong turning, and before they knew it, were entering a vast barn. So there we go. This is the barn, and that slit there is the opening to the barn. It was so dark to hear anything, and that was really weird. I was thinking, why, why would that matter if it's dark and they have trouble hearing? I mean, if it's a noisy barn and if there's loads of noises going in the barn, then yeah, sure, you're going to have trouble hearing, but why would it be an issue for them to hear stuff if it's dark in this barn? You know, I don't know. But this is the picture. Very unusual. It has Watts there and this little thing there with a little part of the bike wheel there, which I'm presuming is a missing plank of wood on the barn. It fell down as they came out the other side. And he's just sitting on his bike saying, "La." saying, "Oh no, we've destroyed this barn for no apparent reason." They're made for a huge bush. There we go. Just going through the motions on this bike. Off which they rapidly ate a quantity of berries. So there's the bush there with all these little black dots which are represented as berries. But when I looked at this, I was thinking, like, how come this half of the bush is completely barren of berries and this bush isn't? Does that mean that they've ate all the berries on this side and are going to be going onto this side? I mean, that's a big bush and that's going to have a lot of berries for 2 people to eat, despite them being small. I mean, that's a lot of berries. They returned home. They're just sitting down, exhausted from their adventure and their bike trip, to discover there was nothing to be seen but an obelisk. So there we go. And if you don't know what an obelisk is, it's basically like this large stone construction, kind of like an Egyptian. I think it originated from Egypt, which said it had been raised to their memory 173 years ago. So saying, how peculiar, and what can it mean? So yeah, they've apparently, when they've stepped onto this bicycle, they have apparently extended their lives or gone back in or gone forward in time and not aged themselves, and people have thought that they have died or gone missing, and they've built this monument to remember them. So how strange for them to go back in, or actually to go forward in time and not age. The bicycle uttered for the last time and fell to bits. So it says indeed, and then the bicycle just fell to bits for no apparent reason. And that is the end of the story. That is all we get. I thought it was a very abrupt ending. There wasn't really a conclusive ending. And I've read I've read a handful of his stuff by Edward Gorey, and I think that his endings really are a lot like that. He abruptly ends the story without giving you all the little ends all tied up and giving you a satisfactory ending. He kind of gives you like this, that's all you're going to get ending, if that made any sense. But this was the first thing that I read by Edward, and I really enjoyed it. It was different, I'll say that, but there is a lot of charm to this book. There are a handful of things that I still have no idea what was going on, like where did this bicycle come from? How did it let the owners of this bicycle, the brother and sister, survive 173 years into the future without aging? Why did the sister need so many pairs of boots, which are on the front and the back of the book? And yes, I did count, and there was exactly the right amount of pairs of shoes there, or boots. How did an alligator die by having its nose kicked in? And what was I wouldn't say what the point of this book was, but was there any hidden meaning in this book that I missed? But I don't really care. I love this book, and it's very atmospheric. It's not very dark. It is dark in places, I suppose, but it's a mind trip to read one of his stuff, and I'm really glad I got this. It was really cheap. So you guys, let me know if you have read this book. Let me know if you read anything else by Edward Gorey. I've got a bunch of his stuff in my room, so I think that going forward, reading Edward Gorey stuff is going to be kind of the backbone of this whole series going forward. Well, at least for a while anyway. But I might break it up with different things in between so you guys don't get bored. But yeah, that's been my review and my kind of discussion on this book rather than a review, I guess. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you so much for putting up with it. and hopefully you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out DR Animation's channel, as he is partially responsible for me continuing on with this whole series. And also do not forget to check out the founder's channel of this whole series, Pax Panic, my very, very dear friend, who is the reason why I'm doing this in honor of her and keeping her memory alive. So guys, with all that out of the way, I'll see you in my next video.